What's going on, my dudes? Welcome to Work in Progress, the daily, well, sometimes daily, sometimes 5 days out of the week, sometimes 6, series where I document my own studio practice as a full-time gallery artist, which means that I primarily work with galleries and that's how I make a living, while showing you what it takes to get here. Practical steps, sometimes, mostly a blueprint via action, via example, while showing you what it takes to get here and stay here along the way. So, bros. Oh man, dude, okay. This whole freaking seasonal affective disorder, SADS, or whatever whatever it's called, the mood thing. I think we're kind of starting to get the hang of it. I think we're kind of starting to push back, but sometimes I'm not so sure, bro. Sometimes I'm not too sure, dudes. Sometimes I feel like it's kicking my ass. Today I kind of feel like it kicked my ass a little bit, but you know, we're doing better. I've got a better mindset about stuff. Today I took, you know, since the days are so short, I kind of took most of the day to kind of be out. I had some errands to run and stuff like that. And so I kind of took primarily the daylight portion of the day to do that. And so when I got started on painting stuff today, it was a little later. And that's fine. That's okay. You know, we have to adjust your schedule. You have to adjust your painting schedule to meet your natural inclinations and whatnot. And obviously, if you've got a job and other priorities, other obligations, if you've got maybe kids and whatnot, it can be a little harder to do that. But I am admittedly very fortunate in that I don't have any you know, other obligations aside from just painting right now, and that's a very lucky place to be for me. And so I get to, you know, spend my days exactly as I want them, and that doesn't mean that, you know, I don't have things that I need to get done and want to get done, but it means that I can be a little bit more flexible with how I spend my time. And so today, the goal for me was I'm working on the 3x4 foot paintings, which is going to be essentially tying up the rest of the show. And I'm trying to get as many of them done by by my deadline as I possibly can. At the very least 3, and hopefully, you know, for sure, hopefully more than that. And so I have a certain way that I like to work on them. I like to do the background one day and the figure the next day. Trying to get it all done in one day, it is possible. I've definitely done it before, gotten a 3x4 footer done in one day, but the quality really suffers. And it's also very hard for me to kind of keep momentum on one single thing for too long. And so what I find for me is it's best for me to divide up my practice into different kind of stations or different maybe like modalities. And so today, after I got the background done, I was just working on like generating a bunch of images. And so first let's get into the painting portion, and then I'll kind of talk you through some of the images that I've been generating and working on. Okay, so this one is my essential idea for the 3 that I started off with the 3x4s. I had an idea of doing them in 3s, one with a kind of blue background, one with a green background, and one with that kind of red terracotta background. And this one kind of had a little bit of both. It had a green and a blue, so I, you know, decided to honor the reference photo and stick to that. And as you can see, the background is very washy, and that's intentional, because if you look at the courses, like the actual courses of on the tennis or the tennis court, you'll see that it's not like an even color. The way that the light hits, there's scuffs on the ground, and I find that this kind of washy application really works. Now, after this, we're pretty much done with this painting until tomorrow. Now, after that, I was working on these images, dude. And this one I've already started as a painting, but the other ones are going to be new to you guys. And there's just some of them that I've been generating, right? So we got the two buff guys, and then we've got the freaking super skinny dudes deadlifting 1,000 pounds, right? And those are just, it's a small sampling of what I've been generating, and I've got a whole bunch more. I don't want to really share all of them yet, but I'm kind of just conceptually starting to dive into this idea still, and I'm not entirely sure where it's going. I don't know if it's going anywhere meaningful, or if it's going anywhere that I like yet, but this is kind of what I call like the gathering stage, and I'm out and I'm just getting resources, and I'm getting excited about a subject. I'm sort of letting the YouTube algorithm kind of naturally speak to me, and that kind of marks a big shift for me, because I've primarily always used, or not always, but within the past couple years for sure, I've used Instagram as a primary reference source, and to me Instagram just kind of feels a little bit dead now. It's much less of its own thing, and now it's just sort of like this Kirby figure where it just sucks up the power of like every other app that it comes into competition with. Like, for example, the first one was like Snapchat, and then they started adding stories, and then so everybody started going bonkers, and then it was like TikTok, and now they're doing Reels, and they've just done like, and then Threads, and so Twitter, and yeah, it's kind of just Instagram just kind of feels like this kind of empty shell of what it used to be, and it's just trying to be all of the things at once, and which is understandable. That's fine, but for me, that has kind of made it lose a little bit of its potency, and it's I don't know what you would say. It's kind of like meat as a source of reference, and what has quickly come to replace it is YouTube. And YouTube is obviously video based, but there's a lot of thumbnail. The thumbnail thing is like a big deal, and that's all images. And then, just a long form video, kind of engaging in it myself, like with these things. This has, again, just kind of become a primary source of reference material for me. And so I've been getting fed a lot of like fitness stuff. And then as I started looking at it, obviously I'm getting fed more of it, but I'm also realizing how prevalent it is, like just amongst everybody. Or a lot of people that kind of have some sort of routine of some sort, and I'm just kind of starting to pull apart, just starting to pull apart, I think, some of the tropes within this kind of culture. And again, I mentioned this in another video, but it feels antithetical but also parallel to some of the conditions that I observed in the gaming setups, in the gaming culture.